Hi, beautiful soul. Last week on this channel, we talked about something really important. Why growth becomes almost impossible when our nervous system is stuck in fight or flight. We explored the idea that before we can grow or change or become who we really want to be, our nervous system has to feel safe enough in order to soften. And if you haven't watched that video yet, I highly recommend you start there because today's conversation builds directly on that foundation. Today, we're talking about something that almost everyone struggles with, but very few people understand: how to stop reacting automatically to our thoughts and emotions and start responding consciously instead. The truth is, most of the time, we're not actually choosing our reactions. They're just happening automatically. A comment from someone lands the wrong way. A mistake happens at work. A memory pops up. Suddenly, we're flooded with thoughts like, I messed that up. I should be better at this by now. Why do I always do this? I'm never going to figure it out. These thoughts arrive fast. They sound convincing. And before we even realize what's happening, our nervous system reacts. We shut down, we spiral, we criticize ourselves, or we avoid the thing altogether. This is the pattern that keeps so many people stuck. And in positive psychology, there's actually a name for that pattern. It's called ANTS, automatic negative thoughts. Ants are not chosen. They are conditioned. They're mental habits that developed over time through our experiences, our environments, and survival strategies that once might have helped us to cope, but now they just show up automatically, often long after they're actually useful. One of the most important things to understand about ants is this: they are not evidence. They are conditioning. Just because a thought appears in your mind doesn't mean it's true, and it definitely doesn't mean that you have to obey it. But most of us were never taught that. Instead, we learned one of two strategies. We either believe our thoughts completely, or we just fight them constantly. But both of those approaches keep us trapped in reaction. Because here is the deeper truth. Ants don't live in logic. They live in the nervous system. Which means that arguing with them rarely works. And forcing yourself to think positive often backfires. The real shift happens when we change our relationship to the thought. This is where both neuroscience and Buddhist psychology point in the same direction. In Buddhism, there's a simple but profound teaching. Thoughts are events, not identities. They arise, they pass. They're conditioned by causes and circumstances. The suffering doesn't come from the thought itself. It comes from believing that we have to follow it, fight it, or eliminate it. But there is another option. We can notice the thought and respond differently. This is the shift from reaction to response. Reaction is automatic. Response is conscious. Reaction is the nervous system protecting itself. Response is the nervous system feeling safe enough to pause. And often the difference between these two states is incredibly small. It can be as simple as one breath, one moment of awareness, one moment of remembering. This is an automatic thought. I don't have to believe it. Let me give you a small practice that you can try right now. Next time that you notice a negative thought appearing, try this. Instead of arguing with the thought, simply name it. You might say to yourself, this is an automatic thought. That alone creates space. Then notice where the thought lives in the body. Is there tightness in the chest, pressure behind the eyes, a knot in your stomach? Just notice it. No fixing, no forcing. Then gently offer yourself a response. Something simple, something compassionate. You might say, "This is hard, but I am still worthy of kindness." Or, "I can be gentle with myself, even now." This isn't about convincing the mind to be positive. It's about interrupting the pattern with awareness and kindness. And that interruption is incredibly powerful because it teaches the nervous system something new. That thoughts can arise and we can stay grounded anyway. Inside the Metta Momentum Sangha, this is exactly the work that we're exploring together this month. We're diving into a mini coaching workshop called Loving Yourself When the Mind Won't. Because the reality is, waiting until your mind becomes supportive before offering yourself compassion is like waiting for the ocean to be calm before you learn how to swim. Instead, we learn how to stay kind, even when the mind is noisy. Inside the premium classroom, we go deep into how automatic negative thoughts form, why arguing with them makes them stronger, a guided somatic practice for meeting thoughts with awareness, and a full worksheet to help you work with these patterns in real, actual life. All along with the replay from this week's live Metta Moment meditation, where we practice grounding and reconnecting with self-trust through a gentle forest path visualization. Here is something I want you to remember. You don't defeat ants. You don't silence them forever. You simply outgrow their authority over you. Not by force, but by choosing awareness and kindness again and again. That is what turns reaction into response, and response into freedom. If this conversation resonates with you, I would love to invite you to join us inside the Metta Momentum Sangha on School. The community is free to join. Inside the Sangha, you will find weekly teachings like this one, guided meditations, nervous system regulation practices, journaling prompts and study guides, and a compassionate, growing community exploring mindful growth together. And if you'd like the full ANTS mini coaching workshop, the guided meditation replay, and the downloadable worksheet, those are all available inside the premium classroom. You will find the link to join and everything else you need in the description of this video below. we would love to welcome you in. Until next time, remember, you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that notices them. And every time that you pause, breathe, and choose kindness instead of reaction, you are rewiring your relationship with your mind. One moment of response at a time. I'll see you inside the Sangha. Namaste.